I've been sleeping on making this video for a little bit too long. Let's go over to the Red Wings and talk about Steve Yzerman and the final thoughts shared about the deadline, as well as the moves that the team ended up making. Now, I want to give two shoutouts real quickly in order for us to facilitate this video. Firstly, to the folks over on the Grindline Pod, because what they did was they made an entire Twitter post about the Steve Yzerman presser moments after the press conference happened. Now, if you didn't know, if you're, I believe it's a Twitter Blue subscriber, you're able to make tweets that are longer than 280 characters, so this tweet by the Grindline Pod guys is really long. Really, really long. And it's available on Twitter. I will go out there and leave a link, I guess. I mean, it's a one-take thing, so it's pretty okay to leave a link there, right? And as well, I wanted to give a shout out to the Bally Sports crew because they did have Steve Yzerman on yesterday with Mickey Redman. There was a nice little Q&A, kind of bouncing off ideas off each other type of thing that was done on the broadcast, talking about the Red Wings and their direction and the stuff that they did. It's just kind of cool seeing Stevie Y and Mick have their moment together, especially since, you know, Mick's been commentating on Red Wings things for so long, and that includes the period when Steve Yzerman was a player, so it's kind of cool, transcending generations here when you see this happen. But when it comes to the Wings and the perspective that Yzerman has shared about the team, if you go over to the Bally Sports thing and you watch pretty much what was said there, it kind of goes over what Steve Yzerman talks about, you know? Talks about what pieces they want to build around Seider, Raymond, talking about re-signing Moritz Seider, talking about character guys, talking about the moves they made. I will leave a link in the description to this video as well. It's about 6 minutes long. It's just kind of a back and forth between the two. But if you go over to the Grindline Pod's Twitter and you look at the entire summary they had of Yzerman and the post-trade deadline press conference, Yzerman said he's pleased with the progress of the team. A positive season so far, where younger players continue to develop. Vets have provided leadership and experience. On how difficult it was to be a seller versus a buyer, Yzerman said under no circumstance was he going to be a buyer this season. The win streak may have delayed some things, but he stuck to his plan that was in place. Now, okay, there were a few people kind of going out there in my comment section, and I saw it on Reddit, Twitter as well. Oh, what if the Red Wings go out there and they get Timo Meier, or if they get Horvat, or they do this and they do that. They get these big-name guys that are going to be free agents and need new contracts, whatever, and okay, I could understand the philosophy there, especially if you're really factoring in the Red Wings' winning streak earlier on. And if you really wanted to expand on what you had and try to force your way into the postseason, you could have maybe tried to do that, but would a move like that have been the most beneficial to make? Who really knows? Steve Yzerman pretty much said no, which is why they stuck with their plan of being sellers. Speaking about being sellers, this is what he says about trading away Hronek and Burt. Mixed emotions on trading them, but the return was good. The picks could be used at the draft or to acquire players. Don't tell that to Patrick Allvin, everybody, because apparently he can do more with draft picks than use them for good players or trade them away. Who really knew that? There then is the kicker that I think a lot of people had been interested in learning about, but unfortunately we may not ever know about. Helene St. James asks about Jakub Vrana. Stevie sighs and says he can't go into details. He wishes Vrana the best of luck both on and off the ice, and it's time for both parties to move on. That's okay. I'm gonna go out there and pretty much say this may be the last time we ever talk about Vrana, realistically. Like, if the guy goes out there and starts scoring a whole bunch of points, then that's good. Good for him. Hopefully he's able to actually get it together in St. Louis, but who really knows? It's really just a matter of time. He also says that when it comes to Filip Hronek, the Wings weren't actively shopping him, but they got an offer they couldn't refuse. Thanks, Patrick Allvin. Yeah, great trade. You know, I'm going to go out there and say this one more time here. A lot of Red Wings fans may be kind of confused with what's happening. Oh, well, I mean, Hronek is not that bad. Like, why is everybody hating on him? Vancouver Canucks fans are not hating on Hronek because of Filip Hronek. They're hating on Hronek because of the trade itself. The player is good. The talent skill set is all there. But when it comes to the type of team that made the trade for him, the team and the position that the Vancouver Canucks are in right now, you could very much have debated this might not have been the best move. But as I had been saying the entire time too, there is a benefit of the doubt because Hronek is so young. If he was a bit older, I could totally be on that bandwagon too. It's just, he is right there in that age range with Quinn and Petey that it kind of feels a little bit better, but we'll see what happens as time goes on. Speaking about those trades, though, Stevie says that those Ottawa games made it a bit easier to trade players away. Going into the Western trip, he had a plan in place, and winning delayed the moves a bit. The Ottawa games just reaffirmed where they're at. They made it clear that there was a lot of work to do still. And yeah, it's tough to go out there and watch the Wings against the Ottawa Senators and see them do as poorly as they did. It was kind of the rage, saying, okay, well, what happened to that win streak? I thought this team was better than that. Why are we back to our old ways? And then it's like, okay, no, now it's time to trade everybody away. Goodbye Hronek, goodbye Burt, goodbye Sundqvist, goodbye Vrana, goodbye everybody. We're just getting draft picks, and that's the end of that. Stevie also said he had to weigh losing a player for nothing versus the impact on a run. He concluded the right thing to do was to look to the future and gain assets. So that's that same philosophical argument. Do you want to lose players for nothing? Maybe make trades for guys that can help you out, go on a run, but do you want to sacrifice parts of your future in the process? Patrick Allvin did that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about Patrick Allvin. I'm just kind of pissed off that my team isn't really as well run as this team does seem to be, but either way, Max Boltman asks about open spots in the lineup. Stevie says whether Simon gets called up will depend on his play. If he can help, he'll have to play well enough to get the look. There are other guys in Grand Rapids playing well too that the Red Wings may be able to see there. There also was a conversation about defense, aside from Simon Edvinsson, asking if a guy like Mata or Wallman or Sherratt, if it allows them to be patient with Edvinsson, or if there's going to be a guy moving from left to right. Yzerman doesn't like to move guys to their offhand unless they've done it before. So from that, it doesn't really appear to be any sort of conclusion that somebody is going to go to the other side, but we'll see how training camp and everything shapes up for next year, whether or not Edvinsson in this season's worth of play is able to get a cup of coffee. But for now, it doesn't really look like there's too many moves to be done there on the defensive side of things. When it comes to the Larkin extension, Stevie says they have been talking about it for quite a while. They both wanted to make a deal from the beginning that was 8 years long. Yzerman is happy it got done, and all that took time was the number. And yeah, that's not too much of a surprise. Everybody knew that the term was okay. Everybody knew he wanted to be here for 8 years, and the Wings wanted Larkin for 8 years. It's just the dollar amount. That was the kicker. And it's good that they got things sorted out because nobody is going to be questioning the Larkin camp and everything anymore. Looking at you, Biz Nasty. There are some other comments here talking about free agents and more moves in the future, updates on players, Wallman's doing everything right, Kosa's trending in the right direction. There's a lot of stuff here as well towards the end of the tweet. There's a lot more in here. Like, we didn't cover, I'd say maybe half or 40% of what is in here. So a link is going to be in the description if you want to see more comments that Yzerman made about different players and the situation of the Wings. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Steve Yzerman, the Wings, and their trade deadline for 2023. What are your thoughts about the moves they had made? Hronek is out, Sundqvist is out, Vrana is out, Burt is out, and they got a bunch of draft picks and stuff in return, which is pretty good if you kind of evaluate it from an asset management point of view, pretty much. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.